What would you do if you were hiking in the desert and suddenly a shadow passed over you? You look up. It's a bird. A big bird. A really big bird. And it's looking right at you. Since early times, men and women have had to deal with dangerous animals. Lions, tigers, and bears. But what about birds? Really big birds. Birds that eat flesh and possibly could carry you off. Have they been reported in the Mojave? And are they still reported in the Mojave? Many people are familiar with the Native American concept of the thunderbird, a giant feathered being of supernatural power and strength. Numerous tribes from coast to coast have oral and written traditions concerning the thunderbird. And the Mojave is no different. It was said to produce thunder and hurl lightning, and some tribes even have stories of the giant birds being menacing, as well as beneficial to the Indians. With the coming of the Anglos and Europeans into the desert, the stories changed from something of a supernatural aspect to one of being outright monsters. Early papers carried articles of people being attacked by giant birds. Birds of enormous size that seemed hell-bent on seizing the pets, stock, and even the children of the early explorers. This article from 1871 describes what was termed a monster bird being sighted in Nevada. And though it sounds like a modern-day condor, the citizens of the towns were terrified it had come to look for human victims. 1916 brought this sensational story about deer hunters who fought off a double eagle attack that lasted for over 2 hours, but after they had shot one of them. In 1919, an article ran about a hunter killing a monster bird, but this time it turned out to be just a huge pelican that somehow had ventured too far inland. But here's another report from the same year about a man killing a monster eagle that was supposedly looking to snatch a child. But were there actual attacks recorded with photographs? Yes. An article from 1926, complete with the picture, tells the tale of a huge eagle that tried to seize a child's dog, and when the little girl intervened, the bird went after her until her father shot it. Although from the picture, it looks to be just a large but regular-sized raptor. But my favorite archive story has to be this one, about a man named Bert Burns, who while working on a telegraph line out in a remote spot, was attacked by a giant bird of prey and fought back with a hammer. Eventually, he was able to hit it on the head with the hammer, and it fell stunned to the ground, where he jumped down, bound it with telegraph wire, and took it back to town to show it off to the amazed people. But many articles did tell of people out in the remote places seeing birds of incredible size. I love how so many of these articles use terms like air monster, giant bird, killer bird, monster. Well, they were big. I mean, a bird with a 12-foot wingspan is a large raptor. Now, it's kind of heartbreaking also to see how quick people were to shoot them. I mean, who kills a pelican? But I guess, to be fair, if something was after you, or your children, or your pets, you would definitely defend yourself. But I wonder if maybe, in older times, there were larger specimens of the current species we have, but we no longer see them because of the depredation of the olden times. I guess we'll never know. And are there ones out there that still might survive? Well, to this day, people still claim to have sighted enormous birds of prey out in the Mojave and surrounding mountains. Giant eagles, monster hawks, and enormous hunting owls with wingspans of over 10 feet or more, and supposedly capable of carrying off a small child or person. But alas, no pictures or video has yet surfaced. Some have even suggested that carvings like this Native American petroglyph shows just that, a huge bird with a human in its beak. But most conventional interpretations that it is simply a roadrunner with a small lizard in its grasp, something you will see out in the Mojave on any given day. But who knows? Away from gun-toting humans and alone on some remote crag or in a desolate canyon, there might yet be a bird or birds of incredible size, supernatural or not, waiting to take to the air in search of prey. And we can only hope that it chooses someone else's campsite. I'm ML Behrman. I'll see you next time. Oh, if you do see a giant pelican, don't shoot it.